Hello, welcome back. I hope you've really enjoyed all the activities that we've been doing today. I know I have, and I know Derek has. To finish off today, I'm going to read you a story that I've written. So it's called Molly's Minibeast Hotel. This will be great just before you go to bed. Molly was 4. It had been her birthday the week before, and for the whole week leading up to it, she had visits from aunties and uncles, cousins and neighbours, not to mention a trip to the zoo and an ice cream tea with all her friends. Sadly for Molly, that week was now over and everything was back to normal. She had had a fantastic time, but now she felt all the excitement had disappeared and things felt a little bit boring. "I'm bored," Molly groaned. "Bored?" her mum asked. "Why don't you play with some of your toys you had given you for your birthday?" "I've got no one to play with," she said miserably. Nothing felt as exciting as her birthday week, and now there was absolutely nothing whatsoever to do at all. "Why don't you go into the garden then, whilst the sun is still shining?" encouraged her mum. "Oh," Molly moaned under her breath. She dragged her feet outside, shuffled along the path, looking down, and let her bottom lip drop. Suddenly, she saw a small creature crawl out quickly in front of her. It was a tiny brown spider, and it ran so fast that Molly had difficulty in following it with her eyes. "Mum," she yelled, "where do spiders live?" Mum was outside before Molly had finished speaking, and kneeling beside her, she kissed Molly's forehead. "Well," Mum said quietly, "they weave the most beautiful webs for everyone to see and live by the side of them." "Oh," said Molly thoughtfully. "What about the other mini beasts?" "Mini-beasts live all round the garden, Molly, but sometimes they need our help," Mum said. "How?" Molly couldn't think of any way she could help a spider or a worm. She'd never even knitted a spider's web. "Let's make a mini-beast hotel," Mum said, suddenly excited. Molly didn't know what that was, but as Mum seemed so excited, she knew it must be something good. Molly's mum showed her where some old sticks could be found that had fallen in the last storm that they'd had. Carefully, they placed them down in a corner of the garden in a square shape, building up the twigs higher so it looked like a sort of mini chimney. Molly really was unsure how this could help a ladybird or even a caterpillar, but she followed her mum's instructions. Next, Molly and her mum collected some old brown leaves, dead flower heads and pine cones and placed them all in their twig-built sculpture. A few old pieces of bamboo cut down, some grass cuttings which had incidentally gone brown, and some soil were mixed in with some rocks and stones. When they'd finished, it looked quite a solid structure, but Molly could see little caps and cracks and holes, which meant you could just see inside. "There," Mum said, "all done." Molly looked and said, "But what is it?" "Why, it's a mini beast hotel, of course," Mum replied. How could this pile of rocks, leaves and grass help the mini beasts? Molly wondered. Mum found an old lollipop stick and wrote in small letters, Minibeast Hotel, and placed it on the front of the new home for creatures. Mum looked at Molly and smiled. You have created a wonderful home for the tiny insects in our garden. They will feel very happy there. Spiders will love the rocks, the woodlice will enjoy the bits of wood, and the worms will have fun in the soil. In fact, there is something for everyone in there. Well done, Molly. Mum went into the house to prepare the dinner, and Molly looked very pleased at the new mini hotel. Later that evening, when Molly was dressed and ready for bed, she just happened to see a tiny ladybird on the windowsill that hadn't had chance to fly out before the window had been closed. She knew what to do. Molly asked her mum to help her gently place the ladybird in a pot. Molly delicately put her hand over the top, and together they went outside to set the ladybird free. Go, little ladybird, Molly whispered. There's space at the Minibeast Hotel, she said. And sure enough, there was. Whilst Molly curled up under her duvet that evening, she couldn't help thinking of all those mini beasts who now would be curling up under an odd leaf or two. Good night, mini beasts. And good night to you too. Hope you've enjoyed today. I hope you've enjoyed my story. So, goodbye and good night.